You guys hear me okay? Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Tommy Caprise. If you guys are regulars here at Sunrise, you guys probably see me around. I'm responsible for all the chairs you guys are sitting in and a few other things. So thank you. Obviously my mom means a lot to me. I've always had a very close relationship with my mom. She's very important to me. But when Dan came to me and said, "Hey, can you talk about your mom?" I had a hard time thinking about what I was going to say. My mom does so much for me that it was hard for me to pick out any specific thing. So when I was 9, my parents divorced, and my father moved away. So I was left and I lived with just my mother and my sister. So that was interesting. I didn't really have a father figure in my life. So it was just my mom, my sister, 2 women, and me. So I was always kind of, I guess, the man of the house as I grew up, trying to take care of my sister and my mom. But I think my mom took care of me a lot more than I took care of her. Oddly enough, that it caused me a little bit to take my mom for granted. I think she was always very strict about when I would come home as a teenager, and it was only until I graduated high school and I got into my 20s and into college that I really understood how much she cared and what that meant. So in my opinion, moms are a gift to us. No one sacrifices more for us and adapts more for us, for their children, than moms. And my mom is the biggest example of that for me. She was able to take on both roles, both parenting roles in our household. That's crazy to me. I can't believe she did that. I'm thankful every day that she was able to do that for me and my sister. She gives me advice even when she doesn't know what to say, and that's really difficult. She helped me even when she didn't know how to help me, because I was never able to learn things that your dad normally teaches you, like how to change a tire or anything like that. But she did her best, and she adapted for me because she cared about me. That's the definition of love, in my opinion. Somebody who's able to go out of their way, out of their comfort zone, to help you and be there for you. And that's what my mom has done every single day since I was born. So I don't know how much time I have, but I want to kind of ask of you guys one thing. This is something that I try to practice all the time, having to do with mothers. If you see a mom anywhere, whether it's your own mom, whether it's your friend who is a mom, whether it is a friend of yours, their mother, and maybe they're angry or upset, or maybe they're underdressed, or they're unclean, or a lot of, they're not quite fit for the occasion. I just ask that, you guys give them a break and really try to understand what they've done to sacrifice for their children and for the people in their life, because I don't know anybody else who could do something like that but moms. They go through so much for their children, they sacrifice so much, and they adapt so much for us, and the least we can do is be understanding of them. I love you, Mom. Thank you.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Ben Stull. Normally I'm up here playing the drums, so I'm changing it up today. I thought that would be a good idea. Really all I'm gonna do is just really highlight my relationship with my mom, and how that's persisted throughout my life. But obviously I was born, when I was born, I was 0. I was in 2000. The way I look at it is, for everybody, your mom is your first connection. Like she's your first love, So growing up, like, we just had like the strongest relationship. And I really, that was important to me, and it was very formative in like my early years. And what ended up happening is, so she's got 3 boys. So anybody with sons, obviously you know how that goes. But I've never seen a person, and like Tommy put it very well, but I've never seen a person adapt more than she has. Be there for us 3 guys, because nobody's perfect, and obviously she's not perfect, but man, we were not perfect. Not even close. And so, obviously in the past few years with graduating and moving out and kind of becoming my own man, we experienced that struggle of what is this? Am I still attached, or do I need to just distance myself? All these different types of feelings going on as I'm growing up and becoming a young man. But there she is. I mean, she's always been the one to adapt to the situation and just be there. And I think that relates, it pertains to every mother, is loving their children unconditionally. Like it's one of the most consistent traits I've seen in a mom. And that's always been there for me. And so when I'm out doing my own thing and, being a goofball, whatever it may be, she's always been there. She's still there. I know she is. And I always have a home, when I'm out there doing my own thing and kind of living in my place and doing, whatever. I know that I can swing by really whenever. She's always there. The love has never changed. She loves me just the same. And yeah, I respect her for that. And so that's just me. But I know that applies to a lot of people. So really my underlying message, or my underlying thing I want to convey, is just gratitude. I thank her for that. She doesn't have to be like that. She could, the way I was and my brother, and she's still got a little one in the house, but the way we were and the way we still are, we're hot-headed young dudes just going crazy in the world. And man, I've given her a lot of excuses to back away and take her hands off, but she's always there. And I think a lot of us can say the same. But I appreciate the time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Blake. I haven't met all of you. Probably seen me up here at this point, but I'm excited to get to know more than just the band here. I've loved to get to know them. But I'm excited to share a little bit about my mom this morning. And Dan asked if we could share something. There's a lot of things that came to mind, but what really started to stick was a couple of things that my mom would say to me growing up over and over again. One thing she would always say is, "You can't even imagine how much that I love you." She would say this all the time. She always was and still is a very loving mother. I'm super grateful for that. But she would say something else as well. She would say, "Having the kids is the best thing that I've ever done in my life. It's also by far the hardest thing that I have ever done." I always knew that I was loved, and I still know that I'm loved. I never understood just how deep that love goes. I'm still trying to learn this, but I never really understood it. You see, when my mom would say this to me as a kid, I always thought it was just, the TV show, the movie type of love, a strong feeling of affection and security. And it was those things, but there was a whole lot more. As I've grown up and I've learned to love more, and my capacity to be loved has grown, I've learned that while there is this strong affection and love, there's also this overwhelming sense of pain and heartache at times. I think this is why my mom would say that having kids is the hardest thing she's ever done. I don't have any kids yet. I can't even begin to grasp the love of a parent. But if the feeling I get having to take my dog to the vet is any indication of what my parents feel looking after us, I can only imagine how tough that is. My appreciation for my parents went way up after I spent just a couple of nights with my dog in the vet. And there's been times where, as I've learned to love more, I've seen my wife in pain. It feels like part of me's dying. With greater love, there's been a whole lot more pain. And trust me, there's been a lot of pain for my parents and my mom with her 4 kids. When I was 6 years old, I was in a go-kart crash. My parents almost lost me. And for weeks, For weeks, my mom slept in a hospital bed with me as I recovered. I can't imagine she slept much. Yeah, must have been agony. Or I watched from the outside as they dealt with my older brother and his years of drug addiction, selling drugs, and his bipolar disorder. I just remember you could just feel the tension in the house and the pain. And this went on for years. It still kind of pops up here and there, even after a decade. There's been countless times where the deep love my mom has for her 4 kids has just been paired with unbearable heartache. And I'm grateful for that. I'm not a mother. I'll never be a mother, but from my outside perspective, I've seen so much pain in it. I know people who've lost their children, family members who've lost children. One of my wife's friends opened up to her about a miscarriage she had, a horrible pain. I know people that have just gone through having a rough go at trying to raise their own kids. I can only imagine how tough that job is. There's so much love, yet there's so much pain. How can these two things coincide? Yet through all this pain, every mother I've known has continued to love and not given up when it should be crippling to us. This past summer was particularly hard on my family with my mom. We almost lost her. She had a heart attack and then a triple bypass surgery. And then in recovery, she had a stroke. It was pretty horrible. When we finally got past the stroke and we knew she was going to be okay, we were able to exhale a little bit. My grandma, who has a lot of experience in motherhood herself, said the most profound yet most sarcastic thing I've ever heard. She looks at me and says, well, you know what grandma always says, what doesn't kill you makes you want to die. And it shocked me because she's always been a quiet, wise voice in my life, very steady, doesn't step out of line. But as we coped with all this heartache and we were laughing off our pain, I knew there's a lot of truth in what she had said, as the love for her daughter had been coded in this agony. So here's what I've learned about my mom, is that there's a lot of pain in love. But my mom, being the wonderful rock of a Christ follower she is, would tell you that, yes, there's a lot of pain in love, but there is so much hope in your pain. In Revelation 21, when John is casting the image that Christ had given him of the life that is to come for those who are found in Christ, he says this, he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore, for the former things have passed away. That's the reality to come. That's the reality that's right now. The Lord is wiping away every pain and every tear. This is our hope in the gospel of Jesus Christ. He's exchanging our mourning for joy. He's giving us laughter for our lament. So to all the moms who love so deeply and whose hearts have ached over their children, to my mom, to the other women in this room, for those who couldn't have kids, we see your pain. We're grateful for you. We love you. And know that in the kingdom of God, that your pain is being traded for glory. Thank you for listening.